Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. So, today we are in day 19 of our 30-day Alchemical Transformation Challenge. And today I want to talk about the Merkaba. We're going to get into the mechanics of the Merkaba. How does it work? And how do we activate that light body in the physical body? So, without further ado, let's jump into it. Hello, everybody that's joining us. I'm going to go ahead and share this live. And I'm going to adjust my screen so that we can start the presentation. Be right back. Great, so let's get started. Hello, Marilena. Hello, Greg. It's so wonderful to see you. Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the Merkaba light body, and I'm going to share my screen. We're going to jump right into the presentation. When we talk about the Merkaba light body, we are talking about the activation of the vortices that we talk about and how we can access that. Now, the vortices are extremely important because the vortex movement of the body is a result of the health that we maintain inside of this multidimensional network. The health and the spin of our vortex is a product of emotional balance, energetic maintenance of our energetic body, and also how we are co-creating in the world. And so how we begin to clear and deprogram lower density vibrational frequency in the subconscious mind will affect the DNA that we are utilizing in the body. And essentially, our physical body turns into a strand of DNA in that it begins to spin in itself this heavy, condensed amount of self-coiling information. And we are made up of that information. So we're going to look at today how that functions and how we can learn how to tune into that. Hello, everyone. Hello, Samantha. Hello, Kevin. So great to see you guys. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so let's get started. The Merkaba, essentially, this light body, what does it mean? Many of you are very familiar with the Merkaba. But essentially, we are looking at the incredible geometry, the complex geometry that the physical body creates. Mer means light, Ka means spirit, and Ba means body. Merkaba. Okay? And the way that I'm going to address this topic is by getting down to the core information about how we begin to access this kind of a geometric organization in the body. Now, we learned during this entire course so far how emotions store in the body, how energy moves through the body, and we understood the central fluid movement of life force within the body. When our human body is in alignment, we are able to move life force through the body. And that's the main message of today. When we open the meridian lines of the physical body by deblocking them from any kind of limiting belief systems, emotional blocks, fears, anxiety, all those lower vibrational, slow wave patterns of vibrational frequency, we begin to open the networks of intercommunication in the body from the lower ranges up to the higher ranges. And within these ranges of the physical body are runways of this life force energy. The connection between mind and body, that union, we talked about the sacred marriage, the union that occurs between the higher self and the physical is essentially the marriage between the material and the spiritual realm. And in order to embody the Merkaba, or this body of light, essentially, is that we merge these two. Yesterday, we talked about the chakra in the center, which is the center integration point of the chakra which activates in the body of unconditional love. This aspect of our body becomes available to us when we begin the process of changing our creator state. So when we deprogram limiting belief systems, when we begin to heal the body from any kind of suffering and illnesses and limiting belief systems that block this life force, this is how we can begin to create a homeostasis in the physical body. And what that does essentially is that it begins to create harmony in the body. And a harmonious state of balance allows a state of co-creation, activates within us a higher level of beginning to manifest and affect the material world. The whole purpose is that the human enters into the highest state of vitality, co-creation, and balance in order to understand the weight of their input and output into the system. So how does man begin to do this? We talked about many of the aspects of the physical body. And when we discuss clearing these root programs, we are essentially transmuting the belief systems of separation into belief systems of unity consciousness. Now, the Merkaba in itself, in this intelligent design of these two vortex points, are affected by the organism, by the human that begins to deprogram this heavy, slow wave in the body. When the human is in a state of survival, what happens is that the lower bodies are so dense and heavy that the body cannot move. The body can't move as much. The spin around the body, which is this toroidal field, is sluggish, slow, broken apart. People have cords from their body. People have thought forms, emotions, all of which block the flow and the spin rate of the toroidal field that extends around the body. So when this begins to block this flow of life force through the body, what happens is that there is a fragmentation that occurs between the higher self. Excuse me, I had to sneeze there. Between the higher self and the physical self, okay? So the lower, mid, and higher dantian are essentially the higher self and the physical self. And so when the first process to begin the alchemical process in our multidimensional body in order to create a Merkaba state, it's the integration of the lower three chakras, which is the material realm, the survival state, the relationships, and the emotional body. These three states, these three aspects of ourselves. So when we integrate those, and we integrate them by broadening our perspective of how we are working with life force. Is your life force being depleted through the misuse of emotions, the stagnation of thoughts that are in the past or in the future as opposed to the present moment? Then all of the life force is being stagnant, accumulated, and not fluidly moving through the toroidal field. So instead of looking like a Merkabah, right, or this beautiful shape in which we are fluidly moving, our vortex is higher, we end up being really heavy as a whole organism. And so this is what the body looks like energetically. And I've also shown you this in your bodies. So in addition to your vortex, the center core of your toroidal field looking like this, the way that the bodies look are like these pictures that you see at the bottom, or here at the center. I can actually maybe put them somewhere so you can see it clear. are essentially not moving in a way, in a fluid manner in which it requires for life force to move around. So each one of these bodies are incredibly important because they help us understand how we are creating our reality. When our root chakra is wide open and we basically look like this, our connection to source is super thin. It's almost non-existent. So in other words, we cannot connect with source. We cannot connect with our higher self. We cannot connect to our intuition. We don't trust the intuition. And we are embodying, so that's in the physical, but your multidimensional body looks like this. In fact, this is a generous, ample projection of life force. Most people that I see that are walking around in a state of survival look more like this, okay? Super, super thin life force coming into the body, and then there's a disconnect between the higher and the lower body. Okay, so that's the thing. So what makes it even worse is that people that are in very low states emotionally, that try to escape from those emotions, potentially through drugs or alcohol or anything external stimulation that takes their life force away from cultivating any connection with the physical body whatsoever, creates a complete depletion of life force. So the body energetically, the way that it's holding energy looks exactly like this. And the chakra system, the chakra body looks like this. Okay, so, and so remember, what I'm showing you here, these triangles are the vortices that are correct, that are created by the way that life force is being distributed in your body through the toroidal flow of life force through your body. So the less conscious you are, the more dormant state, hypnosis state that you are in, this top part becomes really, really thin. So essentially, you are absolutely in the state of survival. So that's how the multidimensional body looks like in a state of absolute separation, totally in effect of the world around us. So this is really important for us because sometimes we don't understand what it means to not embody that high rate of spin. But the higher spin that we move, we have a different change in perspective and who we are serving, what we are serving. What is how do we serve? We serve by vibrational resonance. All of your thoughts and belief systems create a vibrational frequency. Those create a resonance that make you a match to the experiences you're having. So if you're in a state of separation, fear, survival state, possessive, competitive, ambitious, all of these lower states of consciousness are going to energetically, through the toroidal projection of the way that life force moves to your body, look like this. And what happens with people that escape even more is that they don't want to be in their body, because being in their body feels really uncomfortable, really uncomfortable. It feels uncomfortable because they have a tremendous amount of suppression of emotions that haven't been dealt with. So all of this large triangle that you see here is essentially right here, the red body, the survival body, the root chakra is overactive. Sacral chakra is out of balance. Solar plexus is out of balance. So this is what creates the perceptions. All of these fields around your body are filters of perception that we are constantly interacting with. Okay, so what happens is that this creates this vibrational frequency becomes so heavy and so slow that when you're in dream state, which is one of the most important times for the human to be able to navigate in and out of body experiences in order to begin to access and reintegrate fractalizations of themselves in other dimensional planes, which directly affect their current lifetime. this current present moment, we can't, because they can barely hold an alpha state. Even though they're sleeping, they have a distorted state of frequency that begins to really maintain them in a state of survival through frequency. Remember that survival state is emotions, it's vibrational frequency, and those are wave patterns. They are resonance. So anytime that we are in a state of survival, let's say we go to sleep in a state of fear or anxiety or sorrow or depression, you know, your entire body is spinning or not spinning in a sluggish mode. So when you go into sleep, most people that are in trauma, they don't have dreams, or they don't remember their dreams. That's because their level of consciousness, or the dreams that they have are extremely negative. They have parasitic dreams. They believe that they are being attacked psychically, or they go into the underworlds, which means into the subconscious or the collective subconscious of the shadow self, because we live in the shadow self. We are so fearful of the shadow self that we become it. We become what we put our attention on. So whoever is not working in cultivating their life force, sorry about this things, you know, is literally creating the way that they experience not only the physical reality, but the worst part is that we are not able to tap into our manifestation. Okay, when we begin to access the Merkaba, or we begin to activate this light body in a flow that moves in a rapid state, we begin to tune in to the network through our body, through the toroidal field. We begin to align with the earth. When you align with the earth, that's when you can tap into the membranes of the higher dimensional planes of the earth, the inner earth membranes, and the higher membrane, which is the chakra field of the 7th, 8th, and 9th. The 7th, 8th, and 9th are the fields of our multidimensional body, which co-create the DNA, which input into the DNA of the earth, which allow you to master or have any kind of effect on the physical material matrix, which you are connected to and you are creating through your base program. So when you begin to change that base program, then you can start to access these higher realms in dream time and traveling in out-of-body experiences. But in order to have successful dream time, in other words, a dream in which we are lucid and conscious and choosing, and not engaging in parasitic activity, we need to change our frequency. So this next body, for example, look at the root body, is really small. It's a red body. It's close in alignment to the body. So their body is really close in alignment to themselves. And there's a lot of mastery over that root body. The sacral, you can barely see it, but it's there. The solar plexus, the house of empowerment. When the solar plexus is balanced in the body, it allows the human to have empowerment over the material, empowerment over the physical matrix. And so now they're not at the mercy of karmic cyclical cycles. In fact, they are now beginning to manifest by activating heart, the green layer. See, the green layer is the heart, the blue layer is the throat chakra, the purple is the third eye, which is your intuitive body. And that's where you start connecting to the membrane, which is connected to the earth plane. Right? So the earth plane is actually where we are beginning to access the DNA of the Akashic records, ancestral and past life information, as well as interdimensional aspects of ourselves when we're ready. And how we begin to access these higher dimensional levels is, again, by conscious co-creation. the more lucid you become in your waking state, the more conscious you become in your waking state, the higher you can access chakras, which means the higher you are able to access higher dimensional consciousness and information. Star seed information, interdimensional contact, your angelic selves, all of these kinds of higher dimensional aspects of ourselves are available to us to tap into. Remember, because you are an integrated network of information, you are able to tap into this information and pull it into the present moment. So you can literally access a fragment of yourself in a past life and heal it by reintegrating, by broadening the perspective of that aspect and yourself, learning from that experience, shifting the emotional input in the body as a result of that perspective. And it immediately, through the morphogenetic field, shifts the way that you are embodying this belief system. And therefore, you have expanded your light into this fragmented point of yourself in the field. And so every single point, and remember, we exist infinitely in infinite potential. So every point that we access and bring light to, which means bring gnosis and awareness to, we grow, which means that we expand, we extend, our bodies begin to enter into more dimensional planes. Because every single point in that field that you were looking at, that is an access point in the past or in the future, which time doesn't exist. This is just a human way to measure for the human to be able to conceptualize measuring timelines. But how they truly exist is that all of that exists simultaneously here. So if you were to overlap the picture of that network on top of this, on top of this world here, you would see that those little tiny dots, they exist within different planes, different dimensions, and you are accessing them through the chakras, because how the chakras work is that not only are they layers of your body, but they're vortices. They're micro vortices. This entire field is made out of tiny little spirals that function like coiled DNA information that project to create the field in which you exist. And that vortex and those little spirals essentially are creating the morphogenetic field. The morphogenetic field is the database of all potential creation. It's the intelligent manual, instruction manual, blueprint of all living organisms, potential life. So it's how we access that information, in other words, is that when we are disconnected from the higher self, there is no way for us to be able to access this source information. So any of you that are having issues with this upper hemisphere of the body, issues with the lower hemisphere of the body, that there is no integration or connection, especially if you have a hard time feeling pain in your body and not naming out the emotions that you feel inside of that pain, then you're disconnected from the mind-body connection. If you can't express your emotions, if you are unfamiliar with many emotions, there's mind-body connection disconnect. So this is the one that we want to begin to heal. And how we heal that is you can shift that in our meditations. The meditations that I walk you through are specifically designed to activate and move life force and these limiting belief systems through this field of the body. So what happens when you begin to activate this higher body here? Your frequency changes, right? Remember how the frequency ranges look like, right? So if you are here in the lower frequency ranges, you're going to be only accessing heavy wavelengths, heavy wave patterns. And those heavy wave patterns, as you can see, you're in touch with a lot of earth frequencies. You might even be affected by these radio, radar, these kinds of frequencies. And what happens is that, a lot of you that are empathic and sensitive end up depleting your life force because most of your attention is down here in the lower patterns of wavelengths. You're affected by technology in a really heavy way. You have no boundaries. There's no balance in the body. There's no protection of any kind. And protection is awareness. Awareness is protection. So the human body is completely at the mercy of its environment, of the karmic cycle, physical, emotional, energetic imbalances. The human is completely at the mercy of those things. And so essentially, of course, it's going to embody this state of survival. Of course, it's going to be in a state of competitiveness and possessiveness. It has to survive. It has to understand how to navigate the realm. And there's both physical, energetic, and psychological side effects to that. Right. So of course, it's going to go into this ambitious cycles of comparison, logic, rules. It has to have something to hold on to. The over analytical mind is the imbalanced, wounded masculine that wants to create separation, organize a false sense of organization and empowerment through programs that limit its ability to access its higher self. And therefore, it can only see half of a truth. It can see only the truth of the material world. It can't access into the higher dimensional planes. It doesn't have the access to this all-knowing, which knows all simultaneously. And every single one of you have the ability of accessing into this field of information because it's in your body, it's in your DNA. There isn't a single person that cannot access this. So what happens now when we begin to activate the bodies? What happens is, in meditation, when we are learning how to do meditations, this body that you see right here that has a shrunken root, the root is imbalanced, the sacral is imbalanced, and the solar is imbalanced. It means it's in balance is what I mean, right? And it's balanced because the reason why it can be managed and we can expand and contract the bodies is because we are releasing heavy programs from there. So right now, this body here on the left that you see that's all red and orange and yellow, this is holding a lot of programs, a lot of belief systems. It's holding a lot of heavy emotions. It's suppressing its own emotions. It's suppressing its access to its own consciousness. It has no self-awareness. When it starts becoming self-aware, you can choose what you wish to embody in the body, bring into the body. And it's here within the root that once we begin to do that, now the root, sacral, and solar, the lower dantian, they're no longer centers of that we're using to manifest the reality. So we're not creating from the lower bodies anymore. What happens is we are using the lower dantian for a foundation of empowerment. Okay, and the foundation of empowerment, if I can find my slide. Okay, so this lower dantian, as you can see here, when we begin to use the first three bodies that they should be used as, and how they should be used? They should be used as functioning routers that we're inputting, outputting information in a fluid manner. We are co-creating with the world, with this experience by allowing what we need to take in, processing, choosing consciously, and letting go what we don't need. If we have dense, heavy energies that we take into the body, we don't process, we don't embody and heal and integrate, we're accumulating. And your DNA becomes super, super, dense. It becomes dense because it's not writing the protein that is productive for the body. You're eating bad foods, you're intaking garbage, vibrational frequency information, televisions, radios, all those things, music, sounds that are low vibration that you need that because you need something in the feeling body. You are in completely the feeling body. You are at the effect. of this world, the physical world. So essentially, the body starts to go out of balance. Anytime our chakras are out of balance for too long, the body starts to go out of balance. And so the entire projection of your reality is over here in the state of survival. Okay, so the organism cannot function that long when it's in this state of survival for long amounts of time. And this is where we end up manifesting illnesses and essentially, dying, getting an illness, and we die. The physical body begins to dissolve as a result of these negative inputs. So the opposite of that would be the human that is lucid within the matrix. And the human that's lucid within the matrix is now choosing consciously what they need from the information that's being given and letting go anything else that doesn't require. So they become a conduit and their body begins to look like this. Okay, so what happened to the triangles? Let's take a look at this. Let's compare these two images here. In this image, we have super heavy lower body density. The vortex is barely moving. This vortex is thick, stuck, and oftentimes it's just really thin like this. With the inability of moving life force in a way. It's very dense. The frequency is super dense. The wider your vortex extends, the more connected you are and entangled with the physical sensation body. So in meditation, you and I close the first three chakras in order to reset them so that we can shake ourselves out of this survival mode. We begin to reset the system back to neutrality. So when you close the survival, relationship, emotional body, then you move yourself out of survival into a state of neutrality. That's why we close the chakras for meditation. And it allows you that when you're in meditation, you're not in a state of judgment and you're not in a state of survival. Because in meditation, you're going to be faced and you're going to immediately begin to feel and tune in to all of the memories that you've been suppressing, all of this stuff. This stuff does not go away until you work with it, right? So when we close it, we are disconnecting the continuous input loop in order to interrupt and begin to observe everything that is done to our body energetically. So many of you that when you're in meditation, you notice that half your body is like so hard to visualize. You can't visualize the back of your body. It's hard to see it. That's because we have a lot of suppressed, we're dormant in that quadrant of our body. Okay, because the body is split up here in different ways. We can't even access this part of our body. And this is full of memories and emotions back here. Okay, those of you that have pain in your physical body, back pain, neck pain, leg pain, all of the body is a recorder, an intelligent recorder of self-organizing information. So essentially, coming into reading state, I call this reading state because now you begin to read your body like a book. You begin to realize that you have energy holes, you're depleting your life force. The more you train in doing it, you can understand who you're depleting with, why you're depleting with them by looking at the karmic contracts that you have. Okay, so this is the thing that what happens is that the Merkaba now after you train your first three chakras to reset to neutral and heal and deprogram based root programs that maintain you in a lower vibrational frequency, what happens is that this body begins to refine and it goes like this. It begins to close that vortex movement to a small amount in the root chakra, the sacral, the solar, which makes up your lower dantian, your house of empowerment. And what happens is that once you integrate those three, now you have the solar plexus that begins to activate into a foundation of empowerment. And it makes up the widest part of your toroidal, of this vortice. Okay, so this is functions. The energy is moving through us like spirals. In the same way that the energy moves through the body in a spiral motion, it's moving through the body in a greater spiral motion. This spiral that you see right here creates this output here, right here. It creates this because every single one of these, this vortex is made up of micro vortices that makes up this lower vortex. And the upper vortex, okay, so remember up here, let's compare it with what happened here. The person that's disconnected from themselves and unconscious. So they are not inputting and connecting to the higher self or anchoring higher waves of frequency. So there's a disconnect between the higher and the lower. And so when we begin to clear that out, when we begin to listen to open our heart chakra, open throat, open third eye, we begin to activate the higher dantian, and which develops the middle dantian. And the middle dantian is the integration of the two bodies, the higher self and the physical. The chakra that we talked about yesterday that begins to open, this chakra of unconditional self-love, is the one that pulls everything together, and we begin to experience the coherent state of ourselves with not just others, but the world, the entire world. Because now you've aligned your body to a vibrational frequency. Look here, the body that you're most holding is blue and going into violet light. The entire universe is made up of the violet light. We talked about that in week 1, where we talked about how the violet light is this incredible essence that pulls the entire universe together. Okay. The universal system of communication between the cells, a complex system of vibrations ranging in frequency between ultrasound and ultraviolet. The cells in your body contain violet light. The wave character, the other half of the DNA system, was discovered in 1975. It is complementary to the material aspect. So in our cells, they discovered that literally DNA is holding this ultraviolet light. This ultraviolet frequency acts as a biosignal, which allows it to ride on spirals of DNA and activate specific codons. This is super important. Okay, so the biological information units of the 64 triplet code of DNA, the DNA codons are analogous to the 64 trigram combinations of the I Ching. And we'll get into that later. But essentially, we are talking about the activation of higher vibrational frequencies, which is this violet light that you now begin to access through the redirection of your life force. You begin to access into this higher vibrational frequency. And so what happens is that you are now matching yourself to these higher dimensional levels. You can travel. This is your vessel of travel. It functions like a spaceship. And when I say that, I really mean that literally. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about ET contact, interdimensional contact. Interdimensional, a lot of people that claim to see orbs, right? They see orbs and they see light bodies. So these light bodies that we begin to connect to and we see, oftentimes when people see those lights, you know, in the sky, they can also see them in their homes, in their vicinities. And depending on the color of the light, it will tell you the vibrational frequency and the origin of where these light beings originate from. But the Merkaba is something that when it begins to spin, you know what, I actually forgot to put that in here, but I have an image of that. Let me show you. This is a bad picture. But essentially, it begins to spin, and I'm sorry, I don't remember where this picture is from, but it's an awesome depiction of this light body. Okay, So what happens is that it begins to spin just like this, and it creates this kind of saucer-like shape, that essentially is the vehicle. And actually the Merkaba uh, means chariot. It means the chariot of the gods. It represented the chariot of the gods in ancient stories, and through history, not only Christianity, but through Greek mythology and through many of the ancient mythological uh, studies and depictions of Merkaba study, talked about how it creates this incredible vessel of traveling. This used to be what those ET beings would manifest in. There are these incredible works of art where UFOs are being shown in next to Mother Mary and Jesus Christ. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that. I forget the name of the artist, but he's phenomenal. And in that picture, he shows the Merkaba, and he shows the star and the light being. It's the Merkaba, which is the chariot of the stars. Maybe I can find it to give you just a reference. If you guys give me just one moment, let me see if I can find that. Let me show you real quick. Let me just bring this. Oh no, you know what I'll do is I will I'm gonna share this. Hold on a second. Okay, I'll just share this. It's just a little Google search, just so you guys can see. This is what I'm talking about. And there were a lot. There's a lot of these. I'm not sure if I can find the exact one that I'm looking for, but all of these pictures that were depicted in these beautiful Christian arts pieces that talk about these Merkabahs, which are, the light chariots of light, in which the gods rode. And this goes really deep into even more anthropological stories through history. But, I'm just going to give you that as a reference for now, just so you understand what I'm saying. But essentially, this Merkaba that we create in the body is something that we build, that we construct through the geometric activation of our body. And everything is sacred geometry. Everything is sacred geometry, right? So why sacred? Because we are a geometric expression. We are made up of the platonic solids that make up these incredible, at the subatomic level, make up the molecules of our physical body. And we go into these dimensional fields, these infinite dimensions at the subatomic levels that allow us to access into these dimensional levels of ourselves. So what happens at the point of the activation of the Merkaba is that we begin to spin our vortex, and therefore our human experience begins to move out of the vibrational frequency. Let's go to our world. What happens here is that we begin to move out of the vibrational frequency of being in the terrestrial matrix, in the way that we begin to travel and experience in the physical realm higher dimensional realities. All of these fields, these dimensions that you see here that extend around the human are, oh, oh, sorry guys, my light went out. Hold on. Be right back. I think I blew a fuse. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. We're back. Sorry about that, everyone. We blew a fuse. Okay, so where were we? Okay, we'll make it quick. Okay, so what happens is, let's go back to our presentation here. Hold on a moment. Let me open this. Let me come over here and share my screen with you. Okay, so what happens is that you activate the Merkaba, which changes the entire vibrational frequency of your entire body so that you can travel into higher dimensional planes. And when you go to sleep, because your vibrational frequency as a whole, your signature, remember, signature is the vibrational frequency of your entire organism. And the signature is produced by the shadow work that you do, the emotional integration, so that because emotions create your vibrational frequency. So as you change your vibrational frequency, as you shift your emotions, you begin to change your overall signature, which allows you to have access to higher dimensional fields. Okay. So essentially, when we are in dream state, that also means that brain waves start to move in a way that are faster and deeper, which allow you to when you're beginning to leave the body, we literally function like a DNA strand as a whole. The body, the Merkaba that you see, which creates that vesica Pisces within the body, is basically one aspect of a DNA strand. You become a DNA strand, essentially. So this body, literally the entire body becomes this DNA strand. This link connects here, and then you connect up, and we infinitely move through energy as we connect up into the highest level, into source. So that movement and that expression of the multidimensional body is expressed into higher dimensional planes through the higher chakras, just like this. So all of these are fields of your body. So you basically follow along in that pattern to connect to the higher dimensional realms, which allow you to navigate. Okay. All right. So one last thing about that, which I'm going to share with you is, and I didn't get a chance to show you this, but essentially the way that you are rotating, the way that we rotate in this Merkaba is essentially, again, it's like a vortex. It's like the toroidal field. And the way that you rotate will depend on your vibrational frequency and your intention. Okay. So how you are working with your chakras, I said this many times before, that you have to listen and read your energy body. Everybody's different at different states of evolution, at different states of healing and vibrational frequency. So the more you refine, you transmute alchemically the lower states of emotions into higher states of emotions, the more you are able to spin faster. You spin faster. And when we spin to the right side, we are spinning towards the masculine, which means that we are depleting. We are releasing. It's a release. When we spin to the left side, it is the feminine, and we are receiving. We are receiving energy. So pay attention to your body, how you are spinning, how you are moving, because it allows you to understand what state your chakras are in, what state you are in as a whole, emotionally, physically, mentally. And as you evolve and as you work, you're going to begin to move your spin in a way that is harmoniously in alignment with the natural cycles of this planet Earth. Okay, so imagine here that this entire body becomes a DNA strand. The points in which this vortex point, let me put it this way. The way that life force is moving through this body is essentially creating this incredible Merkaba movement of how a pattern of life force that's moving through the body. Okay. And the way that this life force moves through the body, it begins to go up infinitely into the highest dimensional plane. Okay. And we are a DNA strand within DNA strands, again, self-similar coils that participate in the morphogenetic field of a greater information. Okay. All right, my love. So that's that. Let me stop here, and I'm going to go into the chat, see if we have any questions, and I want to see if I can help answer any questions or anything. Let me come over here. How are you guys doing? Gosh, so many of you. Hello, welcome, welcome. Welcome, Marilena, John, Pono, Samantha, blessed by the best. Lauren, thank you so much for joining us, Lauren. Yes, you can join it. You can grab the slides on the website. I will put these up following tonight, right now after this call. James Jones, thank you so much for being here. Pono, this holographic light mirroring spectrums are a sequence of resonance in toroidal vortices of electromagnetic light. Yes. The Libra Lord Astrology. Hello, Stone Hobbit. How are you? So great to see you. Faye, you guys are in South Africa. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Samantha. I'm so glad you like the meditations. That is so great. Let me see if we have any more questions here. Geraldine's guidance and lessons are great importance. I'm sure. Thank you so much, Marilena. So lovely. I'm so happy to hear this. Embody pursuit. What color is the integration chakra? Okay, great question, Sienna. So the integration chakra illuminates in the color of your highest expression. And this is what I say about all the chakras. We understand vibrational frequency, but remember that frequency is just the wave patterns, which allow us, it's a language. So each one of your chakras, chakra layers of your body can have different colors. It's not just one color. Color helps us understand the state of the chakras, the health of the chakra, and the spin of the chakra. So if you have a sluggish chakra, you're going to see dark, dim colors in your chakras. If you have bright, clear, healthy spinning chakras, then you're going to have brighter colors, lighter colors. Essentially, when you attain the rainbow body, which is what Tibetans, Buddhists talk about, the Tibetan body, is when all your fields come into alignment, all of your colors are in alignment, and that means integration. That means that you balance the emotional data in each one of the chakras, and that's what allows you to move your vortex, to essentially become vortex. You become white light, because you self-organize the refraction of spectrum of infinite consciousness that came into the physical vessel in order to experience the temporary experience of life in the transmutation opportunity. Okay, so let's go over here to, yeah, okay, let me see if I have any more questions. I'm so grateful for beautiful Geraldine, her generous sharing, her wisdom, the purity of her higher love. Love you, Faith. Thank you so much. Hono says, oh, I Ching, the I Ching I know of. Yes, the I Ching. I see orbs in my room, usually white or purple. So yeah, so orbs are very interesting. We can communicate with the orbs. They are aspects of our higher selves that we are tuning into and we have an opportunity to connect with. So I didn't finish my thought earlier. I'm just realizing that about the orbs, what I wanted to tell you is that many people see these Merkaba shape inside orbs, and orbs essentially are like spacecrafts or UFOs that are condensed. So in the same way that we can expand and contract our body, the Merkaba becomes a light ship essentially that we can navigate interdimensionally with. And so when a lot of people that have contact, and I know this through my own contact experience, being taken on board craft, you realize that the craft is organic in that when you touch it, it literally responds to you. It's like an organism. It's not metal. It's like plasma, essentially. And so that's why we have these lenticular shape like crafts that are created by high spin rates of these kinds of sacred geometry, which speaks to the platonic solids that make up that matter, which will also help you understand what dimension they are coming from, because geometry is language in that every geometric shape emerges from a dimension. It is a law of dimensional construct, and so that manifests in our space, and we can see that. So a lot of these crafts that we see that manifest can change shape, and people realize that when they go inside the craft, it looks much larger than it does from the outside, because you're looking into, you're entering a portal of light. You are a portal of light. Your body is a portal of light. And also a lot of these beings that are more high vibration, like luminous beings, travel in these crafts that are organic. They are telepathically navigated or conduced, I guess. I'm not sure the word. But you can navigate the craft telepathically because it's an extension of themselves, right? So that's our light body. We essentially create a light body, and we utilize this light body in order to navigate. Because when you're in dream state, when you enter in those higher wave patterns of dream state, you are able to leave the body in this implosion that occurs that allows you to access higher vibrational rates through your entire DNA aspect of interconnection. So it's a really beautiful aspect of our reality. Leonardo da Vinci, yes. Hope you release your book soon. Much love and prosperity for you. Thank you so much, JD. Samantha, whenever I see it, I get upgrades and activations. Awesome. QQ, is there a certain direction the top and bottom triangles should be going, clockwise, counterclockwise, and do they ever change directions? Yeah, so I was explaining to you about that. Ideally, we want to maintain the flow of life force of the natural toroidal field that's in alignment with Earth, and then that'll change the higher vibration you get. Your spin rate will change into higher spin rates and essentially become one. So the quick answer for that is yes, and we need to learn how to read our body, and constantly, as I answered earlier, how to navigate that. Yes, Greg, I don't remember the number sequence. There was one time during meditation, I saw sacred geometry between my third eye and body. It was vibrating too much in different colors around me, but I was not able to open my eyes. What was that? Yeah, so the fact that you're beginning to see in your meditation is essential. It's fantastic. Continue going, explore it. Ask the question in your meditation and get the answer, because remember that you are an infinite fountain of knowledge, and it's your body. So we have to explore, and do not be afraid of what you find in the body. But we begin to see our own geometry and our own organism, multidimensional organism. All right. Geraldine, have you ever studied the Ascended Master teachings about the violet flame? No, I haven't. I have not. Alchemy Lab, she did a whole video on violet flame. Yes, I did. And I'm talking about what I see and what I work with in the violet flame myself. Are there any other shapes that we can work with? Yes, absolutely. And that's actually another thing that I want to tell you. The Merkaba is just one body. Okay, we have infinite sacred geometry available to our body. The higher you go, the higher you spin, your shape will change. This geometric shape will change, because again, geometry is language. It's the way light can be bent, and it's the resonance of the base platonic solid and core construct of these dimensions that we're entering into. So we will change as we move out and forward. Okay. Thank you so much, Sienna. Much love. All right, so let's start our meditation. I want you to get really nice and comfortable, and let's begin. We're going to start by inhaling deeply And exhale. Allow yourself to sit comfortably. And with every breath you take, allowing yourself to go deeper and deeper into a state of complete relaxation, complete calm. Breathing. Allow yourself to get really nice and still. As you begin to ground yourself down to the center of the earth, every single day, I invite you to meditate by training your body to open and close your chakras, which means that you are shrinking and expanding. You're learning how to shrink and expand your energy body so that you can learn how to move life force through the body. Okay? So go ahead and visualize now that you're going to focus on shrinking the root chakra as you begin to pull that body closer to your body. The sacral, the solar, taking a nice deep breath. Go ahead and expand the heart chakra now. Expand the throat. Expand the third eye. Okay, immediately you're going to feel lighter. Immediately you're going to feel like you can move energy more fluidly through your body. So just pay attention to that. Okay. You're going to go up into your 7th and your 8th chakra. Go ahead and activate the 8th. Go ahead and expand that 8th chakra nice and wide. Activate it. Fill it in with your creative color. Go ahead and visualize the color that represents your highest vibrational frequency. Breathing deeply. You're going to take that 8th color chakra, send it down to the 7th. In the 7th chakra, go ahead and allocate it into the areas of career, love, relationships, consciousness, joy, harmony, success, understanding, creative energy, sexual energy, balance, health, and finally your purpose. What are you here to do? Fill it in. With every breath you take, as you allow yourself to feel and memorize this alignment in your body, connect with your body. With every inhale and exhale, begin to visualize the spin of your body's upper, lower hemisphere. So just tune into your body right now. And I want you to tune in. What are your vortexes doing at these times? Your vortices, what are they doing at this time? Are they moving sluggishly? Go ahead and read your body. Do you see part of your of your vortices completely blocked? Do you see the energy around you stagnant? Okay, I want you to take a look at your multidimensional body, and we're going to clear each one of those layers so that we can begin to unpack the subconscious programs that block the flow of life force through the body. So let's begin with the first layer of the body. Go ahead and clear it out. Remember, you can visualize that you're grabbing one of those squeegees, or just imagine that you're wiping it down from the top of the crown of the head down through the field, the entire body. You're just going to clear it out all the way down to the center of the earth. Imagine that the vortex where your body ends at the bottom, it just begins to leave the body down out to the center of the earth. Breathing, breath is so important. With the breath, you inhale golden light, and with every exhale, you release it out of the body. Very good. Okay, let's go into the second layer of the body, the sacral body. Go ahead and feel that field of your body. Now that it's closer to your body, notice how dense it is. Any programs around relationships, about our creative abilities, exchanges, money, sex, all of those life forces, clear it out from the sacral body. Okay, go up into the solar plexus. This is the third layer of your body. This is the solar body. Go ahead from crown, from the top of the head down to the base. Go ahead and clear it out all around, clearing out all the stagnation in the solar body. It's the emotional body. So any heavy emotions that you're ignoring, suppressing, trying to run away from, don't want to feel, shames, guilts, anxieties, angers, go ahead and remove all of that out of the body. Okay, you're going to go into the heart layer now, the fourth layer of the body. Go ahead and clear it out. Begin to notice how much lighter you feel. Okay, with every breath you take, be mindful that everything that you're doing is with clear intention and focus. Okay, go into the fifth layer of the body now as you begin to clear out of the fifth layer. Go into the sixth layer of the body, clear it out. So begin to notice your body now. How is it doing? How is it moving? Notice the spin of the body, okay? We're going to begin to remove any kind of cords. I want you to go into the multidimensional layers of your body now. As you begin to go higher into the higher dimensions of your body, you're going to go into the 7th layer. Okay, clear the 7th layer. Clear the 8th. Clear the 9th. Clear the 10th. Clear the 11th. And immediately you are releasing really deep subconscious programs here. So you're going to feel a profound shift as you clear out these layers. Clear the 12th. Clear the 13th. Breathing deeply. Okay, so I want you to sit here for a moment with your body clear. You are so light right now, okay? And you've raised your vibrational frequency to a really high level. I want you to bring from the center of the earth a powerful healing energy. Go ahead and bring up a healing light up into the body. And you're going to begin to rotate that light around your body to help begin to move and initiate this vortex of your own body. So as you begin to spin that life force around your body, breathe deeply. And many of you are going to feel a slight spinning motion. Okay, that's okay. You won't get sick, or you're not going to get dizzy or any of that. You're just going to feel that gentle spin. And I want you to tune into that, because what you're tuning into right now is the natural circadian rhythm of the planet. It's really strong. And your body becomes kind of like an antenna that begins to align and pick up on that information. So allow yourself to tune in to that vibrational frequency and just feel the spin of that healing color around your body, whatever color you envision. Go ahead and see that now. Okay. From source, we're going to bring that cosmic gold energy coming down from the crown of the head, combining now. As it begins to combine, you're going to look like a ball of this light, and just spins, and you are spinning your vortices at the center of that. Okay, now we're going to clear out any kind of dormant attachments to the body that you may have picked up in astral travel or out of projections. I want you to go to the back of the nape of your neck, in between the back of the shoulders, all the way in the base of the crown of the head. I want you to visualize and just check that area for any heaviness, like cords, attachments, any kind of stagnant energy there. And I want you to gently pull out of that space if you do see anything. If you don't see anything, that's great. But if you see a lot of heavy stuff there, go ahead and pull that out. A lot of this is connecting to the 11th dimensional plane, and many people can't move or connect with their life force because of these kinds of blockages. So just imagine pulling them out of the body. Okay. You're also going to go to the mid lower back, right above the pelvic bone, that little that bone in the pelvic that looks like a triangle, right above that, and the base of your spine. Just go ahead and visualize any cords. I want you to look for any cords, any heavy, any sluggish energy there that are rooted in those lower chakras. Just go ahead and visualize pulling and clearing out of your body. Okay. So we are waking up and releasing the center integration chakra at this time. Okay. So now that you're clearing that, I want you to begin to distribute this life force through the 3 dimensions of the body. You're going to send 10% back down to the center of the earth. Go ahead and visualize channeling down. I want you to literally feel like you're eliminating anything that doesn't belong in your space. You're going to bring yourself fully into the present moment, into the now. You're absolutely in the now, absolutely present. I want you to bring yourself in this time, in this space, in your home, wherever you are. Be hyper omnipresent at this moment with yourself. Okay, so as you channel that life force into the center of the earth, bringing healing energy into the earth. Okay, now you're going to take 80% of that energy, send it up your spine, and from the crown of the head, you're going to create a fountain of energy out of that upper toroidal vortex. Send it out, coating the outside of your body. You're going to call back your life force, people, places, and things that are no longer in alignment with you. Just go ahead and visualize cutting that cord and inhale deeply. Release. Anything that your mind just can't let go, your mind can't stop thinking about, attention, stress at work, problems at work, emails, all of that is out at this moment as you redirect your life force, okay? Breathing deeply, okay? You're going to take that final 10% and you're going to bring it into the body now, bringing that cosmic energy and earth energy into the body, penetrating into the pores. I really want you to pay attention as you bring it into the flesh, the muscles, the nervous system, into the bones, into the cellular level of the body, as the body begins to heal and nourish, okay? Breathing deeply. Breathing. So now that you're here, I want you to feel the energy moving. And we're going to sit here in silence, moving this energy through the body. Go ahead and see that now, as you allow your body to become acquainted with this movement. As you're sitting here, I just want you to tune in and sense your own vortex. How is it moving now? Take a look at that. Now that you have cleaned out these higher bodies, how is the spin? Begin to activate the Merkaba. And as you begin to visualize these two vortices that are naturally being created in your body because of the alignment that you're in through the chakra body, you're going to begin to expand this center chakra at the center of the heart and the solar plexus. Go ahead and activate that chakra. And as you begin to activate, gently opening, a lot of you are going to get an influx of intuitive information at this time. You just observe, just watch. You're going to see your chakra in the 10th dimension beginning to activate, 9th and 10th, because that's the next octave up from your body, okay? And some of you in the 13th. Breathing. Notice the more silent your mind and the more your mind goes into a state of absolute zero, 0 point. The 0 point is the place in which this Merkaba activates. So when you come into absolute neutrality, this is where you begin to spin the fastest. Because you're no longer bound by your frequency and resonance to the lower dimensions, and you're also not bound to the higher. You just flow infinitely through all potential dimensional planes in which you exist. You become one. Very good. So as you bring yourself back into your body, I want you to begin to open that root chakra back into a balanced state, just about 6 inches wide within the body, front and back. The sacral, the solar. Okay, we're going to do this faster now because some of you guys already know how to work with me. So now that you have rebalanced those chakras, you're going to see your chakras aligning all the way up. We're going to activate into the 9th chakra. Activate the 10th. Activate the 11th, the 12th, and the 13th. And you'll notice that your mind is absolutely clear right now. There's nothing on your mind. So I want you to connect with this silence, and I want you to memorize it and pull it into your day, tomorrow, today, wherever you are in the world, that you can access this information. Okay? Awesome. I want to thank you so much for joining me today, you guys. It was such an honor. I had so much fun talking to you about the Merkaba today. I'm going to put these slides up in the website. You guys can access it. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm going to go quickly in the chat just to say some hellos and see if there's any questions. And thank you so much. Let me know what you thought about that. Repeating question on from above. I saw a video where you talked about raising the vibration of food. What are the ways that you raise the vibration of your food? Okay. So what I do with food, whatever I'm about to eat, you see, anytime that we cook food, for example, if you're angry or if you're upset or if there's a lot of stress in the house, that energy is infused into the food because of the density and the vibrational frequency of food, depending on the color and depending on, how much we cook the food, the more it becomes charged with vibrational frequency. The more dead the food becomes, so the more we cook it, the more it can take on and implement denser vibrational frequencies of emotion. Okay, so when we're preparing food, it's really important to maintain neutral. I always try to run energy when I'm creating food so that I can channel life force into what I'm making, because you create this symbiotic relationship with food, with plants. I eat a lot of vegetables in my meals. So, I connect with the plant and I give thanks to the element of this organism that is giving its life force for this exchange. Having a very mindful relationship with everything around you can really change you out of depression, sorrow, feeling lonely, especially loneliness. Changing the way that you see yourself and the role that you play in the world can change your way of thinking about being lonely, because everything is live and conscious. So that being said, if you prepare the food consciously and with life force, whatever you eat, you can set the intention as to how it will affect you. Even if it's food that's poison, okay? We have the ability of transmuting that in the body so that it doesn't affect us as much. Don't try that at home. It takes a lot of practice and you have to have a lot of mastery over your body to do that, okay? And the body is a vessel, and things like alcohol, for example, are neurotoxins, poisons. We know what's toxic for us. Drugs, I am completely not an active, in alignment with drugs because of the effects that it does on the spiritual body that hinder your ability to access higher states of vibrational frequency. And I can tell you that as a result of working with hundreds of people that have, interacted on those levels. So when we go to a restaurant, we don't know the kind of energy that is in the restaurant kitchen. It's usually really high stress, lots of things going on. So all of that energy is infused into the food and you eat it. And sometimes people that are sensitive, they get sick by their food. Not just food poisoning, but I'm talking about even just a tummy ache or just a heaviness in the body. We haven't connected with our food. So when I'm going to eat any food anywhere, I visualize, I ground myself, I turn myself into a conduit of life force, running energy by putting the tongue to the tip of my palate. I run energy through the body. I bring source white light, golden light, or white light, and I infuse it into the food through my hands. And I set the intention that everything, all of the molecules in the food that I'm going to eat are going to nourish my body. In that moment, I'm speaking to my food with every cell in my body, and we are merging, we are aligning with one another so that everything I eat is in alignment with me. This is really important. And I think the Buddhists do have some kind of a way of practicing this as well, with having a very mindful meal where they sit and they don't do anything else but eat their food. And they also bless the food. So studies have shown that food that is blessed was actually showed to be more nourishing. Okay, that was a study that was done through a pranic healing where they had different food. I mean, we know this from Masaru Emoto's water, right? You speak into the water and it takes on the form as it crystallizes of that vibrational frequency. So we need to take that into account and implement that into our nourishment. Okay, so that's really important. Yeah, I hope that answers that question. And just to reiterate for those that, I'm not an advocate of saying we should eat certain diets. I think that we are, especially right now over the past couple of years, every human on this earth has gone through major transitions energetically. And we've also had major celestial movements. We had massive solar flares, and we had just the vibrational frequency of our earth is coming closer to the band, which means that we're moving at a higher frequency than before. And so this has huge impacts on the physical body. And for many people that developed blood disorders, a lot of people develop blood disorders, coagulation in the blood, everything from anemia to energy depletion, fatigue, autoimmune diseases, those are on the rise right now because of the frequency of the earth. Fear was weaponized and utilized and highlighted in order for the human to be able to transcend fear. That's the purpose of the past 2 years, is for the human to transcend the illusion of the matrix into the mastery of their own bodies, into the sovereignty of their own bodies. And so those that have not been able to master that lesson fell victim to a lot of diseases, a lot of issues. But there's nothing wrong with that. We just have to level the frequency back into balance. Simply, bring yourself back into a balanced state in order to sustain nourishment in the body. And nourishment, because of the vibrational frequency that we're in, is not just food. It's emotion, number one. It's emotions. So if your emotions are whack, your health is whack. And it's the vibrational frequency that you are holding in your body. These two things are what we can control. And it's really, really important that we do that kind of emotional work to learn how to come into neutrality, because the more you get lost in your emotions, the more energy you're depleting and the more sick you become. And more people will leave the planet as we move forward if they're not in alignment. A lot of people are leaving, not just for many reasons that are targeted, but also our own selves. We do it to ourselves because we're not mindful. Okay, so that's really important. So if you feel that you need to eat denser foods, if you're a healer and you're doing a lot of heavy energy work, sometimes you need more heavy foods. Sometimes a vegan diet won't work for you. You need to balance it out. So I've seen a lot of vegans transition to meat eating or heavier, denser foods over the past couple of years because of these massive patterns of life force that have been moving through us. I've seen hundreds of people go through this. So I know that it's because of the body is adjusting to the densities of the frequency. So moral of the story, listen to your body. Okay. All right. So let me see. IT guy, hey, thank you for doing what you're doing. You're such a giving, wonderful soul. Thank you so much. Love you. I blew my fuse once. It was amazing. Scott, that was exciting, wasn't it? Did it wake everybody up? All right. Let's see if I can mark it. Let me see if I have any questions. I believe the artist you were talking about was Carla Crivelli. Yes, Crivelli. That's right. Thank you so much. Yes, Greg, you got it. The Annunciation with Saint Amidas. Yes. Hi, Geraldine. I feel like I can maintain my frequency high for so long until I run into people. I know we are learning to embody and own our own space, but it feels like I'm a minority among people. So, my love, it's just about learning that everything that you feel, you don't need to take on. You don't need to feel. Anytime you apply a meaning to what you feel, you're becoming entangled. Anytime you judge what you feel, you become entangled, you deplete life force, and you open your field to something else to attach to you. So just think of it this way. Don't judge. Feel it. Feel whatever you feel, and just keep yourself neutral. And know that in your body is what you want to experience, and period. That's it. Just hone your space. And I know it takes practice. In order to get to that place, you have to do the shadow work for the pain that hasn't been addressed. Because if you have a lot of pain in your body, sorrow, loneliness, disconnect, that's going to magnify whatever you feel out there. So it needs to be really addressed. So do the emotional work and it will help you big time. Sienna says the way that the Merkaba spins looks like it spins differently from other vortex images that have been shown. Do they spin at the same time? Yes, they do. They spin simultaneously. I really appreciate you, Geraldine. You shared that chronic cannabis can get in the way of connecting to the emotional body. Long story short, I've cut my use down and I can feel myself tuning in. Wow, that's so great. I'm so proud of you. Let me know how that goes as you continue doing it, because I've had many clients that have stopped smoking marijuana or cannabis. And I mean, they're lit up. They were like super psychic as a result of that work. So yeah, that's really amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Brad M says, Geraldine, have you ever studied the Ascended Masters of the Violet Flame? No, but I did talk about it. Yeah. All right. I think I answered that question, guys. I wasn't ready to come back yet. I was enjoying being in outer space in the deep silence and bliss of 0 point. That's good. I have thought forms, or what feels like my nerves that block my force from flowing through my body. Will these dissolve over time? We dissolve them by going in to that discomfort, feeling it, and understanding what you need. It's information. It's just information. Don't be afraid of the information. And it can be done in one sitting of a meditation. The more you avoid, and it's not going to go away on its own at all. It's something that needs to be sat with, unpacked, see what's inside that emotion, follow the strongest one, get to the root, observe, broaden your perspective, and allow the energy to begin to move through that place. You can also remove it out of your body, but you have to be completely neutral when you do that. I don't really have a clear vision of what's happening with my chakras specifically, but I can perceive subtle energies through the ringing in my ears. Great. Phenomenally powerful transformation, Merkaba meditation. Thank you, Geraldine. Thank you so much, Faye. I'm glad you like it. Thank you so much. Thank you for your calm energy. Thank you, Brad. Much love to you. Adam, wonderful blessing to feel the blessings of the blessed. Absolute bliss interacting the energy you exude. Thank you so much, Adam. Fields of the theaters. Hello, I have not been able to look at the images from my past days of the challenge site so far, not able to. Please do it on the app, on the phone app. I will put the link for that here again right now, so you guys can access that, okay? All right, my loves. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. As always, it is such a pleasure. I love you so much. Have an amazing day. Do you know if you'll be doing any current presentations? Yes, I have some amazing presentations coming up. And you know what? I can share that with you right now. This year is going to be really exciting, guys. Let me come over here and show you what I have coming up. I'll be going to LA. Let me come over here for the Biomed Expo. You guys have to check it out. Biomed Expo, March 24th to the 26th, and this is in person. So if you guys are in LA, I can't wait to see you. It's going to be amazing. Please register. They still have some amazing tickets available. And then I'm going to be at the Ascension Conference at Portal to Ascension in San Diego, and that's April 21st to the 23rd. I'm so excited about that. I'm also going to be in Paris in April. So if anybody is in Europe, in Paris, definitely give me a shout out. Let me know you're going to be there. I'll be very happy to connect with you. I'm going to be in Chicago. I believe it's in August, and some really exciting surprises with Glastonbury and also Egypt this year. So if you guys want to come with me to any of these places, I will be sharing more information on them as they come. Okay. Oh, thank you so much, Richard. I cannot wait to meet you. I hope I get to meet you at one of these conferences. Kevin, love you too. Rockers, Los Angeles. During shadow work, I've had internal negative energy presenting itself as black leeches, very painful to remove. Yes. Okay. So awesome. Those kinds of attachments, remember that a lot of times they have little tentacles. So make sure you're super thorough. Whatever you remove, you replace with white light. That way you shift your frequency. Your body has to adjust as a whole. Okay. And do it with love. Do it with love. You're going to find an amazing shift. Brad, you're in Chicago. Awesome. I'll be seeing you there then for sure. So Richard, my birthday's in April. I could use your wisdom. Awesome. I hope to connect with you. I love you guys so much. And I'll see